All right, welcome everybody. We are talking tonight initially about the pole shift or the solar flash or whatever you want to call it, okay? We've been calling it the pole shift for years, but now people are saying that there's going to be the solar flash. And when I asked Spirit about it, what I got was that the solar flash and the pole shift are the same thing. It's like it may be different things, but they're all happening at the same time. So one of the things that I've been concerned about with the whole pole shifting events is that on the East Coast, we may receive a tsunami, which causes mud floods on the East Coast. Now, I did a reading some years ago, maybe 2 years ago now. I don't even know how long it's been now, but I did a reading, and what I got was that we were going to have mud floods on the East Coast. And I was like, what the heck is a mud flood? But then I kind of can envision what it is from seeing natural disasters from other places. And so the mud floods it's just going to be flooding, you know? And so so when the La Palma stuff started happening, I was like, oh my stars, I have a feeling that La Palma is going to fall, part of the earth at La Palma is going to fall into the ocean and then cause a chain reaction on the mid-Atlantic ridge and cause the plate to shift, because that plate shifting at the mid-Atlantic ridge is what could cause a tsunami to the whole East Coast of North America. So I was like, oh my God. So I did a whole bunch of divining and stuff on it. And then other people started saying the same thing. And I was like, okay, I think I'm on to something here. And so then they were actually blowing up La Palma. They were actually using, what do you call it? Explosives to blow La Palma up, and they were blowing it up on a grid. So if you saw, and they were calling them earthquakes, okay? So if you saw the way the earthquakes were hitting in one day, it was like tons of earthquakes, but it was in a grid. It was a pattern. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all in a row. You cannot tell me that, and I'm gonna actually just put it on speaker view so nobody has their face up. Okay, so you can't tell me that, give me 1 second. Whatever. You can't tell me that those grids that the explosives were happening, the so-called earthquakes were happening at, was really earthquakes, you know, because of the way that it looked. So anyway, so La Palma did not fall into the water, but they stopped talking about it. And then one of the gentlemen that lived there that was following it every day, he actually moved. So I wasn't able to follow him anymore to find out what was happening at La Palma, really getting boots on the ground. So anyway, I stopped focusing on La Palma. And then one of my friends, she actually is in our organization. She was paying attention to earthquakes. And then I was paying attention to natural disasters on the planet. And at one point, I was watching this channel, Duchesne something, and I was watching earthquakes as well. But she found a better way to watch the earthquakes. So whenever there was one in a significant place, like if you looked at that map and the map has the numbers on that map that I showed you guys in the comment section, those numbers represent the sequence of events that are going to take place earthwise that is part of the pole shifting activity, right? Okay, so there's activities all over the place, and a lot of them have already happened and are still happening. So the one that's going to affect us on the East Coast is when the mid-Atlantic ridge plate shifts When that shifts, it's going to cause a tidal wave, a tsunami that's very high that comes to the East Coast. Now, there have been alien groups like the Blue Avians that have come in and tried to do damage control and try to make this situation not as bad as it possibly could be. And they have done that. They have successfully done that so that we wouldn't have a total wipeout of the whole planet and too many lives lost. There also have been timeline jumps and timeline merging, because there are many timelines. That's a whole nother story. I'm not going to get into all how the timelines did what they did. We'll talk about that at another time. But there have been multiple timelines going on simultaneously, and now they've merged. And then at one point, a few months ago, we actually jumped to a different timeline, which helped some of the people that got the Cucarachi shot. Because initially, those people who got the Cucarachi shot, they were not going to have a great outcome. Now, with the timeline that we jumped to, the people that got the Cucarachi shot got a little bit of a reprieve, for their bodies to be able to be made well and to heal. So that's why some of you who did get the Cucarachi shot, I say, don't get any more, please, because you've already been given a chance. If you want to keep drugging yourself up with poisons and parasitic AI bugs, then that's on you. But I am imploring you to stop getting those Cucarachi shots. Okay. But anyway, so this timeline that we jumped onto was really great for that one purpose. So then I saw more people that had the Cucarachi shot being able to ascend to Dimension 5/Earth 5. Initially, if you got the Cucarachi shot, you were going to be tethered to Earth 3 or Dimension 3. Okay. So now let's get back to the pole shift or the solar flash. So what I have been divining over the past couple of years is that it was going to take place, and people kept saying, oh, it's going to take place in 2024 or 2025. And one of the people, Chris Thomas, even had a pole shift clock, and he had a date of like February, and I think it was 2024 or 2025. I can't remember the exact date because I couldn't find the clock anymore on his on his Facebook page. But I kept getting a different date. I was like, I know he keeps saying 2024, but I'm not getting that. So maybe something is taking place in 2024, but I'm getting that things are happening sooner. So we had a conversation like this maybe a year ago, and I posted it on YouTube. We did it in a private chat, and then I posted on YouTube. A lot of people were concerned, and they just said, can you update us when it happens? But I have been advised to not say anything publicly until it's time, because the time is fluid. It keeps changing. So there is a specific event that we are waiting for. When this event happens, we only have within 7 days, it looks like. It keeps looking like it's 7 days or less that we will have, if the event happens, to get the heck off the East Coast, or if you're on a coast, to get the heck off of it. What I have followed closely, again, has been that Mid-Atlantic Ridge. There have been other disasters that have happened on the different coastlines. There are other disasters happening on this continent, and there are disasters happening all over the country, all over the world. I'll answer questions in a quick second. I'm gonna wrap this up in a second. So I have been watching, I know, and now other people who are intuitive have started saying the same thing. Over the past month, I have heard so many people say that I've been saying for the past couple of years. And I'm like, uh-oh, maybe we're really getting to it this time. So I asked the other day, when is the absolute deadline for this to take place? And I got December of this year. So, okay, so now, let me stop, and then we'll go to when this takes place, what to do. But do y'all have any questions about anything that I've said or about anything surrounding this, except for what to do after I give you the notification, because I'm gonna tell y'all that next.
Go ahead, Chantel. I'm sorry.
Do we know like where it's gonna start from, like which state or country? Or
it's already started. If you look at that map, I put a map in the comment section, and it has started. It's been started. If you watch the natural disasters, it started all over the place. Everywhere is having tsunamis. Brazil is having like water stuff, mountains just falling into the water. Remember, we saw the video where somebody was in a boat, and it was a tour thing, and it was several people in boats. 20 people in each boat, and they were in Brazil floating down the river, and this one boat that was a little behind was taking a picture of everything, and then you see the whole freaking mountain that was like way up in the sky come down and fall on the freaking people in the boats in front, and then the person is like, ah! And then they they turn the camera off, and I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this right now. We literally saw the whole freaking mountain fall into the water. And so I was like, oh my God. And like 20 something people died. That happened last year.
Wow.
Brazil has been having flooding. They've been having so much flooding that the freaking mountains are falling off of the earth, because it's too wet, it's too soggy. So it's already been happening. Now, when is it going to happen here? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Wait, is the thing in St. Louis, the flooding, is that related to the mud flood?
I don't know about St. Louis.
They're flooded right now.
Where is St. Louis? St. Louis, Missouri?
Yeah.
If anybody is flooding, the flooding either has to do with them getting rid of the tunnels where they have been, and I don't know if I'm going to post this outside of here, so I'm going to watch my words, but there are tunnels throughout this planet, and nefarious things to people have been done to people forever in them tunnels. And a group of people that we will call the white hats have been flooding the tunnels to make sure that they can't do that no more. But I don't feel like that's still the case. But because so many of the tunnels are flooding, that helps the whole pole shifting activity. You know what I'm saying? That helps the earth to easily be damaged, because there has been so much water everywhere. And then the dams are being destroyed all over the world as they destroy these dams, because the dams weren't supposed to be there in the first place, So as they release this planet of these dams and the nefarious things that are going on surrounding the dams, okay, because it's stuff going on. Mm-hmm. When they get rid of the dams, then there's going to be flooding in those areas. And you already see this happening with the Hoover Dam, and there are dams in other countries. We've been waiting for the Three Gorges Dam to break forever. I think it already broke and they just not tell nobody, but I don't know. I'll do some divining on that. But that is in Wuhan area of China. So, but it's so much nefarious activity going on surrounding the dams, okay, with children and with trafficking, okay, a whole bunch of stuff, okay. So it's not bad that they're getting rid of these nefarious things, but but all of this stuff has to happen. And it is inevitable. Mother God spoke with me about it last year, and she said people will die. She was just preparing me, because I could tend to be very emotional, and she's like, get ready, because this ain't gonna be like a cakewalk and people are gonna die. And we've seen this, with this pandemic, we've seen this in so many ways that this is gonna happen. So I think Chantel asked, do we know where it's going to start? When the tsunami comes to the East Coast, the whole East Coast is gonna get it. And the problem The problem is that there are 8 or 9 buoys in the water in the Atlantic Ocean. And these buoys are detections that tell us they're like tsunami detectors, okay? And out of 8 or 9 of them jokers, only 2 work. And so when the 2 get the notification, guess how much time we're going to have? 45 minutes.
I was going to say 10 minutes.
You can't get nowhere in 45 minutes.
You can't even get out the house in 45 minutes.
That's on the shoot. I'm in Silver Spring. That's like a ride to Virginia.
Yeah. Dang.
So that's why I divine on it every day, sometimes twice a day. All right, what we looking like today? What we looking like today? What we looking like today? And I'm going to keep asking, because if I don't ask and I forget, and then the next time I ask and it's tomorrow or something, I'm going to want to jump off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because I already know we may or may not get notification. May or may not. Now, Stephanie happened to see them installing tsunami detectors in the Virginia Beach area a couple weeks ago, either last week or recently. Okay. So, but I don't know what to say about, go ahead.
I've been looking for some reason, like, you know, like my intuition just comes out of nowhere. I'll just start researching stuff and I'm like, why am I looking this up? So like a few days ago, I was just looking up earthquakes, like, and I was just like, it's going to be a massive earthquake soon. Like, I don't know what type of earthquake, but it's going to be destructive. Like, it's going to be bad. Like, I've been watching a lot of earthquakes that's happening, especially in Mexico, because my brother lives in Mexico, and I'm like, I remember he just had a bad earthquake like 2 years ago. These earthquakes are, you know what I'm saying, are happening, and people are not aware of it. So I just know we haven't gotten it yet, but it's definitely coming. So if that, yeah, I'm very cautious of looking out for things like that as well. These earthquakes is coming, because it's definitely coming. They're moving fast, like you said, and they are everywhere. They're happening everywhere. They're just not out in the news, you know. No one's talking about it.
Exactly. So we have to really be careful. All right.
Rorree, I got a question. It's April. Is that why here in Florida the hurricanes are coming more frequently? Is that contributing? That's what we have here, a bunch of hurricanes.
Well, it is. I think it's hurricane season right now, right?
Right. It's from June to November.
But they're worse. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so far so good, but you know, the biggest one we had was in '92, Hurricane Andrew, and it came in August on a bright sunny day. But you would never think a hurricane's going to happen. So far, you know, we've had 2 bad tropical storms recently, but not a hurricane, thank goodness.
We've been having tornadoes here in Maryland, and in small parts too. You wouldn't even never think that, you know, what happened. Shoot, there was one out here not too far from me, and I woke up saying it in the news, but not really many people talking about it. But I'm watching little snippets of literally a tornado not too far from me, and I'm, what in the heck? I'm sleeping through it. So
I'm trying to get this thing like, okay, so I honestly, I would have to ask intuitively to see if these particular hurricanes, what is spawning them. I would have to ask intuitively, because I'm not sure. It could be anything. What I do know is that when it happens, we're not going to get much notification. And when it happens, there's a high probability that we will be on some type of a lockdown, some type of restricted movement. So that's a concern as well, because if they constrict our movement, like we can't hop on a plane, then that could be a problem. And they're using the cucarachas and now the monkey rachis, you know, they're using all this stuff as reasons to restrict flying. Plus, they did this to many pilots, and this the result often is, you know, flying issues. You know what I'm saying? Like heart attacks and blood clots and stuff like that. And so they're having to make sure that there are two people flying, and, you know, because at any moment, one of them could fall out or something. If they've been, you know, a lot of them died. It's a mess. They have a whole situation with the pilots where their families came forward and the pilots came forward and they told how their lives have been. Some of the careers are lost because they did that, and their careers are totally gone now. And, you know, it's just a lot. So there is a lack of flights sometimes for whatever reason. Sometimes you can't get a flight out. So we're already seeing that as an issue. So if they put us on a high level of martial law and restrict some travel, we're going to have to figure out what do we need to do. And we know that is a high probability. There's a high probability once this first event that I'm waiting for happens, there's a high probability that a few days later, we may have some type of a lockdown situation. Okay, so I know that for me, I know a home that I had one time, I'm just giving you an example. My home was fully furnished. It was 5,600 square feet. And me and a friend of mine, two females, me and a friend of mine, we packed up the house and got it ready by ourselves in no time. I think I can't even remember how long it took us, but it was really no time. So I definitely suggest that you start by putting a list together of the things you know don't want to live without. And you can even just write down a mental list. Write down a list, things you don't want to live without. So if you had to leave an emergency, what would I take? Write that down. If you're not using something that you would take and you don't use that something regularly, pack it, you know, and so that it's that much easier for you to go, because there is going to be probably a degree of panic that comes over you when this happens. And you being more prepared will help you alleviate any panic that may be trying to set in. All right. So I'm gonna open it back up for questions.
Okay. Dang, I just lost my train of thought. 1 second.
I'm stepping away 1 quick second. I'm still here.
Okay, so like I believe it was like a year ago, I was looking up safe places to go when natural disasters happen, right? And for some reason, like I was like, well, what about the pyramids? You know what I'm saying? Mexico, and things like that, or just like where the pyramids are, because they've been here longer than us, like, is that like a spiritual safe, place to go where it's like not touched, or like, what about that? Like, what about those sacred grounds,
Okay, so what I did in the long post that I made last night, I did add 2 links where you could go to find out kind of quickly about safe places. One is the Zeta Talk website. The Zetas, whatever you want to think about them is whatever you think about them. They're a group of aliens. Her information is not up to date.
Yeah.
I believe her information was before the Blue Avians assisted us. and before all these timeline merging and all this stuff. And I'm not sure what side the Zetas are on, you know, I'm not sure. So I know that some of the information that she has on there is a little bit like the real drastic end of the scale. But I would say to look at it as a guide, because if she says this is totally a bad place, then it's probably really not a good place to go. So go to zetatalk.com and look up safe places. And she actually has a list of all the safe places by state, by country, by everything, all over the world. And you can get an idea if Mexico is a safe place or not. Now, if you, because I don't remember about Mexico because I wasn't going to Mexico, so I don't remember if Mexico is safe or not. You want to be at least 100 feet away from the shore, and your elevation, I can't remember what the elevation should be, but if you check the altitude, you want to be above sea level, but I can't remember how many feet above sea level. I'll ask somebody and see how many feet above sea level. But even if you are, we have found places that fit that description that are still not safe. So when I ask Spirit if certain places are safe, what I say is, are these places safe during the pole shifting activities? Because the shifting is one thing, but then there could be some sloshing with the shifting. So let's say there's sloshing. Sloshing is when the waters nearby start moving back and forth and coming over the land. Okay, that's called sloshing. Well, if you have a house and there's some sloshing, it could destroy your house. Okay. But it might not destroy the whole area. So I tell people, give me a specific address, and then I will check to see if that address, it will be safe during the pole shifting activities. Other activities that take place after pole shifting is famine, violence. There could be people going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and trying to steal from you, trying to break into your homes. It could be like one thing that I don't want to see a whole bunch of bodies floating around. I'm just not into that. So I don't really want to be somebody where, because some places are going to become beachfront property, but before they beachfront property, what am I going to be seeing? So like think about the water, think about the animals. Let's think about Florida. Look at Florida and look at the animals that live down there. They be having wild snakes that grow real big. They be having alligators and whatever that's in their wildlife, that's in their regular life. You know what I'm saying? And can you imagine?
That's true.
If it was flooding and them jokers is right there, shit. Hell
well,
no.
During Hurricane Andrew, the zoo got flooded and they were out. So all the animals were all down the street, just wandering.
Okay.
During Hurricane Andrew.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not trying to walk outside and Mr. Crocodile is saying, hi, with his big old mouth. Hell no. I'm not for it. So you won't catch me in Florida, period. I don't want to be in no parts of Florida. Even if it's a little ounce of Florida, that's going to be all right. Because all them crocodiles and stuff, guess where they going now? To that little place. Hell no.
Louisiana too. Down in the
Woo. Hell no. I'm good. So
I just thought about our zoo. We have a zoo in DC, so those animals are gonna be loose.
Well, how about that? Because DC gonna be gone. DC is going to go back to being
underwater.
Yep. They're gonna go back to being a swamp. So this area is not safe. The DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area is not safe. There's some parts of Virginia that are safe, but you still got to look at the fact that you're gonna have this whole pot of people with nowhere to go but the little bit of safe places around it.
No food. No.
Do you want to be with all of that chaos? I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. I don't want to be, We will have, and in Earth 3, new lands will show up. So there are going to be different lands that we don't even know about that we will have access to. Well, I know we'll have access to them in Earth 5, and I pray that Earth 3 has access to those lands as well. Because right now, the lands are kind of hidden from folk, and some lands may rise. Like they're saying that in the Atlantic, the lands in the Atlantic may rise. So yeah. So, I mean, and it may be Atlantis, but some people say that Georgia is part of Atlantis. So I don't know. I haven't really done any divining on all of that, but there's a body of land out in the Atlantic Ocean that may rise up, So yeah, any other questions? Now, I know I pushed pause and I don't know how much we missed. Do y'all remember when I pushed pause?
No.
I don't even remember. We done all went through the whole Zeta talk. We done. Okay. Whatever. I guess it wasn't supposed to be here. All right. So that's that. So you guys give me your exact addresses where you may want to go. Now, and let me know if you all want to be in the group that I'm taking over. Let me know if y'all want to go to where I'm gonna go to be safe. Let me know, because we'll have to make the arrangements, so when I go in to talk to my manager, I can say, look, these are the families that we need to make sure they have lodging while we, for at least a month when we get to our safe location. All right.
When do we tell you?
Okay, I'll push pause and y'all can talk. Hold on. Okay, so I know we've paused it several times and whatever, but just make sure that you have a mental list of what it is you need to do, what it is you need to say, where it is you want to go. If you want to send me addresses to make sure that they're safe locations, feel free to send me the address and I will check for you if you're in this community. Okay, I'm not going to be checking for everybody all over social media. If you're in our community, then I will check for you. If you want to check on whether you or a loved one is Dimension 3 or Dimension 5, I can check that for you as well. So just inbox me if you're in the community. What else? Be prepared for our Friday Night Live, where we're going to be doing our candle work together. And I guess that's it. Y'all. So we didn't have a meditation tonight because I felt the need to address this. So I will make sure we do a meditation on Friday for you guys, so that at least we've had one. But definitely, we have the library of meditations that we're continuing to grow. So definitely check out any of them in there and do them, or the breath work. All right. Have any of y'all been doing them, the breath work, or any utilizing the meditations in the room?
I need to. When I was catching up, I was.
Okay.
Same.
Well, definitely.
And sometimes I go back to the old Discord link that we used to have, and I just go back to that and just scroll up and watch the the links and stuff like that. So yeah, I use the old
Discord. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm using both, honestly, and yeah, it's been working.
Okay, cool.
I'm still trying to get back though. This whole move done got me all over the place, so I'm trying to get back into that zen. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, I don't want to keep y'all any longer. We are already way over. And didn't even record half of it. But anyway,
it's been very interesting, and yeah, I love it. I love it. We've been learning a lot. That's all I can say. So you missed it. You missed it. So
Right. All right, y'all.
Show up Friday. So
all right. I will see you guys at Friday night on Friday Night Live, and have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.